If you don't like coding and you don't like Python, don't force yourself. In order to get into cybersecurity, you don't need it if you don't like it. Because there's different tracks like GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. And sometimes some of these jobs are way higher than a SOC analyst. And today I'm going to give you the exact 5-step roadmap to land one of these jobs. Let's go with step 1 and set the foundation for this GRC track. Now, I'm going down this path because actually one of you requested this video, and I think it's important to show everyone that in cybersecurity, it is more than just coding. You need to understand the code. You don't need to be the one in the terminals actually coding. So the step 1, the first thing that you have to do is to understand concepts. And a good resource for you to use would be the Google Cybersecurity Professional Certificate. It's low cost and it teaches you the why behind security without drowning you into code. Now let's talk about step 2. In step 2, you're going to do a practical project. In my previous videos, I have talked about doing projects in order to build a portfolio so that you can show some of your skills. Now, the practical projects here are going to have to be very specific to governance, risk, and you guessed it, compliance. So we want to understand the NIST framework, the 800-53. It's a document. It's not a programming language at all. Pick one family of controls, like access controls, for example, and write a mock security policy for it. This is a portfolio project you can show employers, right? And if you want to be even more, pick other controls and do the same things. This is how you will learn the jargon. You will learn what it is, why you're trying to protect, etc. So now let's move on to step 3, the Right Certs. Now, certifications, don't waste your time in going into a GRC role and sticking to or trying to do a networking kind of path like CCNA or something like that. You want to get something, like I've always said, Security Plus is the entry level, and focus when you are doing your Security Plus, you should get that certification. I do recommend it for everyone that wants to be into cyber, even the GRC track, to get Security Plus. And you want to make sure that you focus specifically on risk, right? It would prove that you know how to manage the risk, which companies actually pay for. Step 4. Now, this is the translation of your resume. So let's say that you are, like I said in my previous video, I was a security guard, I was a Marine security guard abroad overseas, and I was able to translate security guard into risk. And I will show you right now what that means, right? So you can see how I translated some of the jargon, military jargon, into my resume. And I created a translation dictionary that turns inventory manager into asset compliant auditor. That's the exact cheat sheet I used to get hired years ago. And I'm going to link that in the description below. If you are an IT entry level, you can translate what you do because you do endpoint security into exactly that, endpoint security. You are managing risk and you are doing cyber. You just have to understand the wording. Step 5 is the hidden job search. I need you to stop searching for cybersecurity analyst or anything that has to do with SOC and start thinking IT auditor, compliance analyst, And one that I held, third-party risk manager. That was actually one of my positions before I started working where I work right now. So I want you to do the research on that. Go look at the description, see what it states and what it says, and you will not, most likely you will not see coding on the description. Sometimes, again, there might appear that somebody wants automation. Automation is different. It is coding, but it's different. Why? Because you can automate your systems and be faster. And that's completely legit thing to know and to do, 1000%. Again, if you want to know code, go ahead and learn it. But there are other paths for you to get into cybersecurity that have nothing to do with coding. And this is what we're talking about here. GRC. So the next step. Now I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why GRC is the best kept secret. Because there is usually not a shift schedule. Is a regular 9 to 5 job. Reason 2, again, the coding is not about coding. It's about policy. It's about setting the policy. It's about how the code should perform and how the code should be made, but you're not the one actually making the code. And reason number 3 is the whole point you probably clicked on this video because of the salary. The salary for GRC positions sometimes can be even higher at the entry level than anything else, because you have to think about it. As you become more seasoned in cybersecurity, you start becoming a manager. You start understanding policy, and at some point, you're going to be the one setting the policies. So think about that. Think about how you're kind of propelling your career a little bit faster because you are learning all of this terminology and how to set policies and how to understand policies. So if you're not setting them, you're understanding them. And the next step from understanding them is then setting it. Wouldn't it be better if the policy stated this instead of that? Because this is what we're doing. So you are setting yourself up for success, which is why I think GRC is so good to get into as a whole, in general. If you're sitting there thinking, but I don't know how to translate my job into GRC, Nelia. I know you told me that I have to take these words and translate them. Remember, there's a resource that I provide below. They are military jargons that I translated into cybersecurity. However, you can find way more different jargons in there that can translate directly into your resume. And if you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments below. I want to thank everyone for watching and for supporting this channel. It really means the world to me. So if you have not subscribed, I would really appreciate you subscribing and sharing this video with somebody that can take something out of it. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.